Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ring Rumble podcast. My name is Vicky,
My name is Brad.
and today we're going to be talking about our favorite factions in wrestling. It's not going to be a very long video.
No, very short.
Very short. So I'll go first.
Okay, cool.
My favorite faction is... Okay, wait, before we even say anything, too, if your favorite faction was not mentioned, this is not because we don't like your faction.
Right.
It's
personal preference.
Yeah, it's personal preference. Because obviously, I feel like when I state mine, people are gonna be like, "Oh, like there's obvious choices that I could have made,"
Sure.
but these are people that I just did not feel like I felt more connected with these ones than others. Not to say that the other ones aren't good, because there's plenty of good factions. So, my first favorite is the Wyatt family. Well, for exactly what I just said, I connected with this one a lot because they are very nostalgic to me and they were prevalent in my childhood, basically. I even told you too that if I were to meet any wrestler in the world, it would be Bray Wyatt. I mean, unfortunately, he passed away,
Right.
but he was like my favorite as a kid and growing up.
Right.
So I actually had this. It's kind of an outdated statistic, but I did want to say this as proof of how highly regarded the Wyatt family was, including Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan specifically, and also Braun Strowman. Eventually, there was also Randy Orton was a part of it as well.
Right.
So, but I wanted to say this. In 2014, that PWI 500 ranked Bray Wyatt was number 6 out of the top 500 singles wrestlers of all time.
And what year was that again?
2014. So this is when they were at their pinnacle. But I would argue that this is I don't think he'd rank number 6 now, but he'd definitely be up there because he is highly regarded.
He was a really, really good wrestler.
He was a great wrestler. And he had an awesome finisher. I mean, the Sister Abigail was sick.
His image was great.
Yes,
everything about
perfect.
him was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Luke Harper was ranked number 24 of the top 500 singles wrestlers
Makes
in PWI
sense.
in 2015. And he was also a really great wrestler.
Very great wrestler.
And then Eric Rowan was ranked number 57 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2014. It goes without saying just how great they were. Luke Harper also unfortunately had passed away too.
Right.
Eric Rowan still exists now. I mean, the impact that this group had, I mean, it transcends even just the unfortunate passings of Bray Wyatt and also Luke Harper, because now we have the Wyatt 6 currently going on, and Eric Rowan is a part of that. They were just great. They were the perfect creepy heel character. He was just very unique. I mean, the genius that is Bray Wyatt too. I mean, not just talking about him as a in-ring worker, but creatively. I mean, he crafted his character. He was one of the few, I guess, I would say, wrestlers that crafted a very unique character.
And he had full artistic freedom.
Yes, and they had a lot of trust in him, which says a lot because they're very controlling about what can and can't be in the shows and stuff. And they were just so great that everybody basically remembers them. I'm sure enough people would put either one of the members or just the whole team as a whole in top of all time kind of lists. They were great. Bray Wyatt in particular held the IC, the Intercontinental, United States, and World titles each time once in his career, as well as winning the Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble. Wyatt, Harper, and Rowan held the 6-man tag titles once as well, and Harper and Rowan also won the World Tag Team titles and NXT Tag Team titles each one time. And Bray Wyatt also held tag team titles of his own alongside Randy Orton on SmackDown and Broken Matt Hardy on Raw. So, yeah. Great entrance as well. One of my favorite theme songs I think I've ever heard in my life. It's also one of my top theme songs of all time. And this is their first theme song as the Wyatt family. Not anything past that. There's not enough words I can say that can show my appreciation for the Wyatt family because of how much they made my childhood. But yeah, I definitely, rest in peace, Luke Harper, and rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. I'm fortunately, we get to see some of the work that he did do behind the scenes kind of transpire in the Wyatt Six right now. So I'm glad that is currently happening. So go ahead.
Agreed. So my first pick, I chose the Brood. They were established in October 26th of 1998. This was during the Attitude Era, and they lasted over a year. It was composed of Gangrel, Christian, and Edge. Their gimmick was a clan of vampires, although they were often merely described as living a gothic lifestyle. Now, I like this band. I like this group because in 1994 is when the entire goth industrial thing kind of came into play, and I was one of those goth kids. So it was cool to see in wrestling a gimmick that kind of like was kind of following kind of a trend that was going on. They weren't really known much for like in-ring kind of stuff. They had a few things here and there.
No, it's definitely the entrance.
Right, exactly. And that was pretty much what it was with them, is that they probably had one of the greatest and original entrances where they rose rising through the ring
from the
ground with a fire circle around them. Gangrel always carrying his chalice, drank his chalice and always spit it before every match. And one of the things they had was the bloodbath, where the lights started to blink and then all of a sudden the lights went dark and then the person sitting there in the ring and they're all covered in blood. That shit was pretty cool. But yeah, that was I just thought their gimmick was awesome. It was very unique. I think it opened up a lot of stuff, like, kind of like the House of Black, kind of like that stuff in AEW. Like they kind of put a nudge in that direction of that kind of evil kind of style. Not much wrestling though, but yeah, they were a good group. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an honorable mention of mine. Well, we'll get to that. All right, my second one, and this is funny because I put on my notes, look at Wiki page. I'm not even going to go into why I like these guys so much. I'm going to talk about their accomplishments, just their accomplishments. This, the Undisputed Era is my second favorite. And they consisted of Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. Look at this is the wiki page for all their successes, I guess. Adam Cole in 2019 won Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, and Feud of the Year. Tag Team of the Year was Fish and O'Reilly, Bobby Fish and O'Reilly. They won actually collectively. They won 3 times Tag Team of the Year. It was O'Reilly and Roderick Strong the first time, then Fish and O'Reilly the second time, and then all of them together a third time in a row. Okay, they won Matches of the Year twice, which, like I said, Adam Cole won it with Cole versus Johnny Gargano NXT TakeOver New York, which I've mentioned before in other videos. Match of the Year again by O'Reilly versus Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver 31. Rivalry of the Year in 2019, which is Cole and Gargano, and Rivalry of the Year, which is Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee.
What?
I actually didn't know about that.
That's kind of weird.
Adam Cole was a one-time NXT, NXT champion, and also North American champion in NXT, and also Roderick Strong was NXT North American champion. Yeah, and like I said, NXT Tag Team Champions 3 times. And then they also won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Adam Cole and O'Reilly won, and they won the second NXT Triple Crown champion was Adam Cole.
Wow.
And they won the NXT Year-End Award 10 times.
Jeez. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that's not even okay. Well, also this is also pretty important. I'm kind of all over the place because I'm just looking at this page, because I feel like if you watch their matches, you will just see just how great they are. I mean, watch the War Games 2019 and 2018. Watch those. My God, they're great.
Incredible
and
matches.
Both are of Undisputed Era against a random team each time. So, Adam Cole ranked number 2 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2020. Roderick Strong ranked 29 in the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2020 as well. Kyle O'Reilly won number 38 in top 500 singles wrestlers in 2017. Fish also ranked number 53 in 2017. And for PWI Tag Team 50, they won number 13 in 2020. It's a lot of stuff. They have a lot of stuff collectively. And I've said before, Adam Cole is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. And as for the tag team videos, I did mention that Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are particularly great tag team, and they came from that group. Bobby Fish was also really great too.
He was really good.
He just doesn't
Very
get
good.
quite as enough recognition because Adam Cole and Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are more prevalent in AEW than Bobby Fish. So, yeah, I mean, I could not. These basically speak for themselves. That's why I felt like I needed to say them, because just all this just shows just how great they are. I don't feel like I need to be like, give my opinion there. They're just really good. So, go ahead.
My second pick was actually the Four Horsemen.
Mm.
They were basically a professional wrestling stable. Like, they were the guys. This consisted of Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ollie Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. They debuted in 1985, and they sustained multiple years up until 2022. Different people, obviously. Jim Crockett was where they originated from. They were also part of the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and then was their peak of it was when they were in WCW. Flair and Arn Anderson were the members of each incarnation of the group until Anderson's retirement from a neck injury. They had a lot of different members: Lex Luger, Barry Windham, Sting, Sid Vicious, Paul Roma, Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit, Steve McMichael, Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Hennig, Dean Malenko, just to name a few. They were just pretty much really awesome when we were growing up. Actually, me and my brother and two of my best friends, we called ourselves the Four Horsemen. We would do this. We would do the four finger motion, gesture, hand motion every time we saw each other. So that was like a big part of my life when I was younger. And just the fact that it was just a cool dynasty of group of people, dude. I mean, Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, just that alone, it was incredible. Obviously, they had a lot of matches during their time. Nothing really that stands out. It was just more of the fact that they were just kind of like that original group that had a legacy attached to them. If you think about other groups that came after them, like DX, just to name a few, those were kind of the guys that kind of created a legacy. So, yeah, Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm. All right. I believe we have the same third.
We do.
We have the same third, so we could just bounce off of each other, I would say.
Cool.
Our third favorite faction is the Bullet Club. I mean, if you don't know the Bullet Club and you're a wrestling fan, what are you doing?
Pretty much.
This did originate in New Japan Wrestling, so I can understand from the point of view of someone who watches only WWE, or I'm speaking for others. I mean, obviously, we know the New Japan stuff, but a lot of your favorites from WWE came from
a lot of people
group.
came from there.
So I can name off some people.
We can name off a few here, and that we can just go back and forth.
Back and forth. All right. Adam Cole, baby. Is one.
Adam Hangman Page.
AJ Styles.
Brandy Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
We also have
Luke Gallows.
Doc Gallows.
Well, yeah, Doc Gallows when he was Doc Gallows.
Yes.
Luke Gallows and also Carl
Luke
Anderson.
Gallows and Carl Anderson as well.
Frankie Kazarian, if you don't know, he's a part of TNA.
There's also
Hikuleo. Yeah, Hikuleo. Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks.
Yep.
My boy Finn Balor. He
Kenny
started
Omega.
it. Yeah, Kenny Omega, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. I mean, that's pretty stacked if you ask me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just the people that originated from it, and the fact that this was such a long running club, and with club members that weren't even consistently there was a lot of story going on. I mean, the biggest of which I would say was Finn Balor created this group and got betrayed by AJ Styles, and AJ Styles started leading the group,
and then he was betrayed by Kenny Omega.
So Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
dude.
Incredible.
And this is not even a group that's just within New Japan Wrestling. This also spanned in AEW, Ring of Honor, Lucha Libre in like Mexico,
they
TNA as
kinda
well.
did a little bit of the too sweet gesture and everything.
Yeah.
And the WWE with
So, like,
AJ
if you-
Styles and
If
all
you
that.
watch like AJ and Gallows and Anderson and the OC when they come down and they do the Too Sweet, that's basically
where
what
that
they're
comes
doing.
from.
Yep. And also, if you notice the tension between him and Balor and AJ in the past
There
in
was
WWE.
almost a moment that AJ Styles might have joined the Judgment
The
Day.
Judgment Day. Yeah.
That would have been something.
That would be cool.
Probably
but,
better than Damian Priest. Just wanna
bro,
throw that out there.
dude, stop throwing shades at
I mean, just saying.
So yeah, those are our 3 favorite factions, and I have some honorable mentions. Do you?
I do.
Okay. Want me to go first? Oh, wait, bounce off, right?
We'll bounce back and forth.
Well, no, it's kind of harder that way. I'll just say mine first.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the Brood, as you said. I mean, cool gimmick, cool character. The Impaler DDT is really awesome. The entrance is really awesome. I used to be scared of the theme song when I was little, very scared.
Very much so.
But then I grew.
Right. You got older.
DX, of course. I know a lot of people were going to be like, where's DX? Where's DX? DX is an honorable mention for me. Now, yes, my favorite era is the Attitude Era. What made the Attitude Era? DX did.
That's true.
Which is, I acknowledge that. It kind of seems a little bit like how do those two not go hand in hand? Or how could that not be my favorite?
Pretty much.
They're great, but I connected a little bit better with the other ones, like I said before. But DX was awesome. I mean, dude, it was just very dynamic. A lot of there was tag teams, there was singles champions, there was all of that kind of stuff, and yeah, I thought it was very awesome. I liked DX. DX's entrance was pretty cool, and I thought, Shawn and Triple H together was hilarious. The Ministry of Darkness, also the best version of Undertaker's theme song was when he was in the Ministry of Darkness, in my opinion.
True.
Evolution as well. I mean, that's undeniable. They were a very great team. And the NWO Wolfpack, I'm going to be honest, there was a lot of, like the Bullet Club, a lot of very great wrestlers. You want me to name them off for you? That were a part of the NWO Wolfpack?
Well, I remember a good amount
I'll
of them.
name them off for the people
All right,
watching.
go ahead.
Both Bagwell, Kurt Hennig, which is Mr. Perfect, Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Conan, Lex Luger, Miss Elizabeth, and Randy Savage, Rick Rude, Scott Hall, otherwise known as Razor Ramon, and Scott Steiner, and Sting, and Disco Inferno.
But you're talking about the Wolfpack, though.
I said the NWO Wolfpack.
Well, then there was 2 different groups.
Huh?
NWO, Black and White, was Hogan.
Yes,
Kevin
but
Nash.
the Wolfpack,
Wolfpack was Sting.
Bro.
And, okay. All right.
they're still categorized
Oh.
as the NWO
All right.
Wolfpack.
All
Look
right.
at you see it right
All
here.
right. I see
Yes,
that.
I know that the New World Order was separate, which was Hogan and
Sure,
Scott
sure,
Hall
sure.
and
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. I
Right.
know that.
Okay.
But like when you go to the WCW days, you see like Macho Man and stuff, like Hollywood, like the Hollywood style Macho Madness kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's the Wolfpack. It's
Ah.
the same. They're grouped together because they kind of have the same moniker in the beginning. Yeah, and also Team Angle, which is Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin with Kurt Angle. Of course, I named them on my tag team, so I'm gonna name them on my faction too.
Well, obviously, I picked NWO as well because, the NWO was one of the reasons that WCW almost basically dominated wrestling for a long time, especially against WWE.
Oh yeah.
I will say House of Black just because, I think Aleister Black is an incredible athlete, an incredible gimmick, and he's doing great things in AEW because we dropped the ball in WWE. Wyatt Family obviously is an honorable mention for me. Evolution for sure. Ministry of Darkness for sure. I also would say DX as well. I'm throwing out a curveball here that I don't think a lot of people remember this group, but they were called the Oddities.
Mm.
That was a pretty incredible group because they did have Earthquake when he changed his gimmick towards the end of his career. And they were, even had the ICP guys who were in there too. The Insane Clown Posse was the one singing their songs and everything. So they were a pretty cool little group. But yeah.
No Undisputed Era. I'm offended.
Oh, sure. Undisputed Era,
Bro.
for sure. They're there too.
Yeah, man. We
But I'm-
rave about them.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about
Surprise.
groups that had a legacy of long-lasting legacy that just wasn't a couple years.
And
they all
NXT, they would have a long-lasting legacy.
dispersed. Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I would have liked to have seen
I know.
what
Me
they
too.
would have
Oh.
done in the main roster
Me
if it
too,
wasn't
but
for
thanks,
some of the
Vince.
ideas Vince came up with, where were just
Ruined.
completely outrageous. Making
Mhm.
Adam Cole a manager. I mean,
Yeah.
for real. That's crazy. I mean,
Not related to this, but making Dean Ambrose a germaphobe by
Yeah.
the end of his career. I mean, makes sense why he left.
I mean that stuff kind of worked in the 80s and 90s,
Oh, right.
but we're talking about a totally different era now. It's
True.
kind of ridiculous. That's enough about that. We were
Yeah.
talking about factions.
Well, that was it for
That was
us.
it. Yeah.
Let me know if I'm wrong about the NW Wolfpack, like somebody over
Well, you know, they did
Dang
change.
it.
Sting was part of the Wolfpack.
here. He was part of the Wolfpack,
Yeah.
but it's still
I
under the
don't
moniker
recall
of
Hogan being part of the Wolfpack, but
no, but it's under the moniker of the New World Order.
yeah, well, wherever you got that
Whore.
information from was wrong. But
I got it from Pro Wrestling Fandom, actually,
I think they're wrong.
bro.
Well, anyways, have a good
Bro.
evening.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just kidding.
All right.
I'm just kidding. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. It's
Right.
it's the same moniker. I watched WCW, so we know. I know. I have a hat. It says WCW.
That's great.
That means I know everything.
Yeah, once you have the ball cap, that pretty much explains that you know everything.
All right.
Alrighty.
Yeah. All right. Bye everyone.
Bye. Take care.